Good day.
It is a good day.
All right, we're back in session. Please introduce yourself for the audience.
Okay, Evie McCurry, adult misdemeanor probation and pretrial.
Go ahead and go through
Okay.
your highlights.
So not any real big changes as far as increases in what I asked for this year. The only thing is a little bit higher on records destruction, and that's basically because our cost of shred's a little bit higher. And I kind of wondered why that was, because we're pretty well paperless, but I think some of it is because we have a few extra employees in the back now too. So we've had just a little bit of an increase in our shred, but only by about $100. So the office supplies, same. The operating supplies, same. With computers, so we've had quite a big issue with our laptops. And laptops, last time they were purchased, I believe, was even prior to COVID. So we haven't had laptops in a while, and that's what the probation officers take to court, that has all the files on everything when they're in court. We haven't been able to connect while we're here in the courthouse, and we worked with Dorian quite extensively and with Adam, and the laptops are just old and they need a certain kind of dongle thing, but they only have limited, so we're sharing those with the POs right now. So I talked to Adam, and he had said that we were on the list for our actual personal computers this year, and he thought it would be most cost effective to maybe do the docking stations with the laptops. That way it's replacing both our, in-office computers, but then we still have the laptops too. And then especially with my POs being on call, a lot of the times they take them home, and so they're doing stuff from home if they have to do warrants or those kinds of things. So I think that would probably be a more effective way to get both of those updated. And the only other kind of bigger change is and I've talked to Christy about this too, is the copier for the lease. So our lease right now is up, but we're paying just our fee. So we're paying still the $300, and it's like a month-to-month thing. I did have Valley Office Systems come out. They did a quote for what we needed. What we're doing now is, so our printer is too old to have fax capabilities on it. So we're just using that as the printer. That's what we're leasing, that we've been leasing. And then we have a broken printer that has fax capabilities on it. So we have kind of a two-part thing going on, and so it would be nice to combine those. And so he did give us a quote of $5,774 to just purchase, and that would include service and supplies, and kind of just the basic of what we would need. I told him we didn't need color, we don't need, we used to do the big landscaping legal sheets, and that was a little bit more expensive. We don't use those anymore since going to Odyssey. So there was a few things we were able to cut down. So if we want to continue leasing, it looked like it would be about $3,000 more, or $2,000 more, something like that.
My hope was we could just purchase this outright, have the lease, and if possible, because of what they're dealing with right now, if I could find $5,800 this year, could we get that done sooner than later?
I'd a lot rather do that. I'd a lot rather buy,
And then
purchase it and get it taken care of.
Okay, then we would just have the maintenance agreement for next year, which would be $300 a year.
$300 a year.
Yes.
So if I can find those funds, can I just do an agenda request to get approval, and then she can get it ordered?
She's got to come on the agenda request with you. We don't let her just spend money. No,
Okay.
that'd be fine.
Okay, I'll work on
John,
identifying
you
funds so
you
we
okay
can
with
get
that?
that.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
And then we get rid of the lease agreement that's,
Get rid of that agreement, get rid of two printers that are
Yeah.
taking space.
Kind of a fun, well, it was in the one that we were using over at the Lander building, we owned that one, but it did not survive the move. It was pretty old too, so when we moved over, it wouldn't even plug in anymore, so this was kind of the route we had to go. So, I think that that's pretty well,
And in this contract, they gotta quit charging veterans for overage.
Yeah, right. Have you been getting charged overages at all?
it depends. I think it's been pretty minimal, but I have seen them on invoices before. But I know when I showed him, so when I had Valley come, I brought my invoices that had what we had been using, and we did like an average of them, and then he included what that would cover so that we wouldn't be going into the average of those into the 300 a year.
Okay.
So, we increased it a little bit from what we were using, and I don't know if it's because of during like when we do our massive like intake packets where we print them all off, if we need to stagger it a little bit more of how we were printing them off. I don't know. It didn't seem like there was a lot of rhyme or reason, but there were some times that there were.
It's a
know that-
reoccurring theme across the county.
Well,
in
and
multiple offices.
Well, and I think too, a lot of my people, and I had this discussion with my department probably like 4 or 5 months ago, is you have printers in your office, you don't need to print everything up front. I know that the lobby is up front where you will meet your, clients to have them fill out paperwork, but print it in your office and just take I think a lot of them were just printing to that front computer, just thinking, oh, I'll pick up the paper there and then take it out into the lobby, and that would increase that on that. So I don't know if that's what was going on, probably. So I've told them just print them off in your office instead of sending them up to that main printer because it doesn't cost overages in your office, so.
Building repair. What do you do for $100?
I don't, yeah, that is one thing. The only thing is, there's been a couple of times where we've had to get just little things, like from Ace that we've had to run and get. I know that there was, at one point, the door was stuck in the back. Ryan knew how to fix it, so he ran and got a part. There's been little things like that here and there, but that's really it.
probably just pay for that out of office supplies or operating.
I was just gonna say probably out of operating.
I mean, it's $100.
No,
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, and we
that's
had.
more of a bookkeeping
Yeah.
menace than.
Yeah, and so if we could just do that out of operating supplies, or then we wouldn't even need to have that line item either, so.
Perfect.
We're good on our uniform stuff. I know that I gave you 4 tasers, and then vests are still being made, and had things on back order, so
Will they be here this year?
yes, they should be here within probably 3 weeks.
Okay.
But they were supposed to be here in April, and then they had back order issues on certain supplies, so, but those were ordered at the same time our tasers were. But that puts us in compliance with all of our Kevlar, that puts us 100% caught up and up to date with tasers, which we want non-lethal, our non-lethal options to be up to date and working properly, of course. So that puts everybody's uniform stuff right on par from what we got last year. So I wouldn't foresee needing anything additional unless it's like, we have that part-time PO position that we're doing interviews for now, and if there's a belt that doesn't fit, then we'll usually just go either order through where the sheriff's office does, or we also check the local counter strike and have them get measured for a belt, or those kinds of things if one we have doesn't fit, so we don't need a huge allowance with that.
Do you need to go into executive session and talk about personnel at all?
I'd like to.
Do that. You got your cheat sheet?
You want me to make a motion?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we go into executive session under, I forget the code now. Where's my code?
That's what I say.
Here it is. sorry. Under Idaho Code